Hello, stream people. Hello. Hello, Buddy, Wild, and Crab. Hello. Hello. Hello, Astral Wizard. I'm gonna change scenes now. Hello. There is no game.
There are only anvils.
Hello, Regon. And the real Notorious Taco. We're doing Rivulet again, because I died once in the submission, and it annoyed me.
To
Otherwise,
fall
it was
damage,
good.
nonetheless.
Yes, on the spot that I wouldn't have expected, because I usually grab that pole down. Hello, Argino Flame.
Remember to give me a Discord stream in here.
Hello, Tesla Coil.
The chat is just all people throwing things at you.
Yes. Good. Would I drink water again? Do not ragdoll. Ragdoll to what? The spear?
It's just too powerful.
Revolt. Hello, next Ivy. Whoa. Kind of want to check how much time did we actually lose on that falling into the abyss.
It wasn't that bad. It was still significant.
I feel like it was probably like 5 minutes though.
I remember the first stream of yours I ever attended was you were just learning the Riv route and you didn't hibernate before leaving the rot. So you went directly into the electrical storm.
That was fun.
It was very fun.
Looks like it was behind by 5 minutes. Although I probably was behind by at least a minute as it was. Yes, I was. So we lost 4 minutes. Listen to Devil May Cry song. It's weird. I mean, they're good. I don't know. For a lot of songs, I don't generally go out of my way to listen to things. If a song has a story or there's a meaning, it's not just a song. I like it a lot. Hello, Cyrillith. Hello. How are you doing? Thank you for the raid. And hello, everyone from Cyrillith's raid. If you don't know who I am, I do speedruns of Rain World. Additionally, Astral Lizard is also here.
Hello.
Because we're doing commentary and thing while I try to eat and drink water very quickly.
How was the burger?
The burger is gone now.
Oh no.
Hello, Ask Vaughn. Okay. Turns off microphone. Coughs really loud. Okay. I think we can do pretty good. Also, we get to do it without speedrun timer fix. And I'm not gonna. Maybe we should have live split. I don't care that much. And then let's check.
It's better to have at least one more accurate timer for the estimate. I mean, you could just go back in the recording.
I'm just looking at the.
Yeah.
I'm giving it the same estimate of about 45-50 minutes anyway. Probably get 50, if not 55, just for potential showing the The ending
funny.
scenes. Just want to make sure. Oh no.
How to apply more than 5
I
mods?
enabled all 50.
Oh no!
I didn't actually do that. You can just press this button and it enables all of them?
I want to
So
try
what do
that,
you
except
need?
I'm pretty sure my game would just crash instantly.
It just goes up to more if you have more there. more flashbangs. I didn't know I had that one. I haven't actually seen how that works yet. So yes, we're doing speedrun submissions for games done quick, and then we're going to do our best with that. But also, I do 3D modeling stuff, which is why this model's here. Brotherton runs a GDQ for cool. Also, hello, Coconut Cam. Hello. So that there was a limit how many you can activate? No. You can activate as many as you want. Just it says 5 because you only have 5 active at that time. 5 subscribed to at that time. Alright. Have a good night. Cyrilith. Goodbye. Pumpkin Jack. I don't know what that is. But also, we're going to start the run now. And figure it out. One step at a time.
It's
3D
time.
platformer. Eventually fight each other, yes. Alright. Hello, my name's Ice37, and today I'll be showing off my GDQ submission run for the Rivulet Story Percent. This being a Rivulet was added with the Downpour DLC from the. I'm gonna say that again.
Do
I'm
you
gonna say that
want
in a
the
better
emote
order.
wall up, by the way?
The emote wall. I mean, I thought that was all.
Because
It's going in.
I don't know, it's a bit distracting. I don't know
We're
what
gonna
could you
have
possibly.
anvils happening, so we only do so much here.
Oh crap! It didn't even pick yours up. That's tragic.
All right, turn it off. Yeah. Most. All right. Hello, my name's Ice37, and today I'll be showing off my Rivulet Story Percent speedrun of Rain World. Specifically, Rivulet is a character added in the recent DLC Downpour, and we'll be going through effectively getting the story credits as fast as we can. Additionally, I have Astral Wizard here helping me with commentary, and the timer will start as soon as this circle fills.
So the gist of Rain World is essentially it's a survival platform. Oh well.
This is the wrong thing. I forgot to
you,
press.
you forgot to hit restart.
We're
This
gonna
is
do it
going
again
good.
now.
This is going well.
All right. I keep feeling like there's something in my throat too.
That happens when you eat.
Off to an excellent start. True. Gets me used to saying things though. All right. Hello. Let's wait for that to not be there. Hello, my name's Ice37, and today I'll be showing off my GDQ submission run for the Rivulet Story Percent speedrun. Specifically, Rivulet is a character added in the recent Downpour DLC. Also, thank you for the follow, Coconut Cam. And we'll be showing off this run and talking about it. The timer will start when this circle fills. Additionally, I have Astral Wizard here helping me out with commentary.
Yes. So the gist of Rain World as a whole is it's a survival platformer game. You're not going to see too much management of it, but here in the first cycle, you're going to. You need to eat enough food to survive from checkpoint to checkpoint. And for Rivulet, I believe it's 5 food, and then you can keep 1 after. And that 1 we keep after is going to be useful for an exploit that we're going to see in a little bit. This character also has an extremely short timer. Until the rain comes, the rain acts as an obstacle to make you go from shelter to shelter. And usually it's anywhere from 9 to 13 minutes, but rivulets are incredibly short and could be as short as about 2 minutes. So it's important as this character to get around as quickly as possible. And that's why this run is being showcased, because there's a bunch of different movement tech that's going to be shown off. This character was mainly made as a sort of aquatic one, as most of the underwater aspects of Rain World are not very well shown in the base characters. There's also the scavengers up there. They are one of the game's enemies, and they can tend to be a little bit hard here in the beginning because you start out with not great relationship with them compared to some of the other characters as this one.
Okay. Additionally, they also, if they exist in a region, they can spawn anywhere randomly in the region. So we don't always run into them, but we only run into them at this beginning area. We're also going to immediately head into the important glitch of the run and a lot of other runs, this being karma caching. Specifically, every time we save, which is by eating enough food and then going into a specific designated shelter, and then we actually save there, our karma will go up, and we want our karma to get to our maximum karma, which is a karma level of 5. We started at karma level of 1. And instead of just getting enough food for multiple times and then saving, we instead just get enough food to save once and then have a little bit of extra food to be able to starve. You can starve by having a bit less than you need, at least one food, but not enough to actually normally save. And this will progress to the next cycle, but you'll get a bunch of bad effects essentially in the next cycle you'll be playing. However, if we quit out within the first 30 seconds, because the game doesn't save, it'll send us back to the last previous save, but our karma doesn't go back down. So we keep the karma we gained from starving, and we can starve again. So we can just keep doing this over and over again, just continuing and quitting out until we get to karma 5, which we are at now. I'm gonna quit out one last time so we're not starving. And the reason why we need karma again is because we need them to activate gates, which gates are effectively load zones between areas, and we need to get into a new area added in the DLC called the Gutter, which is part of Chimney Canopy, and we need to be going up to the wall here as fast as we can. Now, because Rivulet doesn't have very long cycles, we can only do that one time. I was hoping he wouldn't jump down.
He
We'll
did.
do it again. Get used to talking. Ooh. Oops, this emote added. That emote was added recently. I think with the Pokemon event.
Yeah, those are from the Pokemon event, I'm pretty sure. The World Championships.
Also, yeah, I can't really do anything about Fletcher echoing.
It's not my fault. It's not me.
Let's see if I can check the filter. Noise suppression's already our noise. Hello, Ardent T. Hello. How's it going? Can do higher close threshold. Nothing else is really gonna help. I'm already boosting my audio because this mic can only do so much. Yes, hello. We're doing submission stuff. And if you haven't seen stuff for Rivulet, it might be spoilers. I don't know if you care. So don't worry about it. I'm thinking about changing some movements in some spots. So, well, burger.
I still have never attempted any downpour speedrun other than Spearmaster.
Which it hurts me. Why would you run Spearmaster?
I
Why have
don't
you
know.
done this? Actually, the hardest one. Run Gourmand first. It's good now.
I actually thought about that, and then I stopped thinking about it.
Okay. No more thinking. Only phasmophobia.
So real.
Alright. Hello, my name's Ice37, and today I'll be showcasing my Rivulet story speedrun for a Games Done Quick submission. Specifically, we're playing as a character that was added in the Downpour DLC, this being Rivulet here. We'll talk about any differences about the character and the world and DLC itself as we go on. First of all, I'm also here with commentary with my friend Fletcher, and the timer will start when this circle fills.
Oh, right. Yes. So, for those of you who don't know a lot about Ringworld, it's a survival 2D platformer, and the biggest things are going from checkpoint to checkpoint while having enough food and also doing it within a certain time limit. If you overstretch that time limit, you will notice a heavy rain start to fall, and eventually it will kill you. So, the biggest thing to keep in mind when this first cycle is going on is that we need to get enough food in order to successfully hibernate. You see that in the bottom left with the little circles that are filling up. That line that's in the circles is showing what food can be kept afterwards. So if you successfully hibernate with a total of 6 food rather than 5, you'll have 1 left over, and you'll only have to get 4 food for the next cycle. This first starting cycle isn't too insane in terms of movement, but this run is used to showcase a bunch of movement. Rivulet was mainly designed to be an aquatic character, but honestly, a lot of its movement on land is really cool as well. Um, this character is a lot faster than many of the others on land, and it can also. It says the game describes it as being able to breathe in water, but it's more so just that you have a very large lung capacity.
Yes, all right. And so we're going to be starting the most important glitch of this run, and really any run that we do in Rain World, that being karma caching. Specifically, we have this symbol. It's an upside down 2. It is now changed to this other shape here. You can see it in the solid circle on the bottom left. That is our karma, and we need our karma to be our maximum karma, which is karma level 5. Currently is at 2. We started at 1. And so to raise it, we need to eat enough food and then rest in a shelter. Every time we save, it will go up 1. But we don't have enough time to go back, get more food, and then rest again. Also, thank you for the follow, Death Umbrella. And so instead of going out and getting more food and coming back, we can use karma caching, which is essentially we save normally once, and we have a little bit of extra food to sit in the shelter, hold down, and it'll do a starve. It'll send us to the next cycle. It won't save the game, and it'll give us a bunch of other debuffs. But if we quit out within 30 seconds, it'll keep our karma and send us to the last normal save, which was just a bit ago. And so keep our karma, we just keep increasing it. We get to starve again and again and again until we get to the karma we actually want to be at, which is karma level 5. Now we want to be at karma level 5 because this opens up gate, and specifically the one we're about to go through, it requires karma level 5, and so will a few others. And these gates are effectively the loading zones between areas, and we just need to be prepared to have the right amount of karma. But at this point, we're only taking saves because we have to. And that being because we are as Rivulet and we don't have a lot of time in a cycle, the bottom left, well, it went away now, but there's a timer that it shows, and each little dot it shows 20 seconds, and we have about 3 minutes, I believe.
This is bad.
Hello, the Corby Shark. Thank you for the follow. And so
The thing about this
this
this character compared to a lot of
Yes.
others is that the cycles are usually random, but for this specific run, we allow the option for no randomized cycles to be turned on, which makes the cycles automatically the longest length possible. this helps with this character because the timing is so tight between when you wake up and when you die from the rain that you basically need the maximum cycle length. And we wanted to just eliminate any sort of RNG of waiting for a cycle that's long enough to actually make this work.
Yeah, and so for this first cycle, we 100% need the longest cycle that Rivulet can have with its shorter cycles. And we'll be making it just about the time when it starts doing the deadly rain. Additionally, we noticed just before I entered this room with the gate, I did a bit of movement called a wall pounce. That's a big thing for Rivulet. They added it back in the Downpour DLC. And Rivulet specifically can do it whenever they want, just because of how fast they naturally move. Now, when it comes to Rain World movement, and with any character that we play as, we are not just some glorified square that moves around with abilities, like with a lot of other games. We are actually two body chunks that can move around each other. Generally, we're going to be in our upright state, which can be the start of a lot of different movement, but some movement requires you to be in the all fours or more ragdoll state. Also, we're going to try something special here. At a bad angle, we're going to do it again. This is called a ploink, where essentially, because Rivulet's so fast in water, if we hit the water at a certain height and spam jump, we can... Please let go of me. God, it's just slowing me down. But if we are jump from a certain height and spam jump while landing without any movement to left or right, we can send ourselves really high up by essentially doing the boost we would normally do in the water in the air instead. Also, hello, Isabel. Yes, that's a thing we can do. But now we're going to go back to wall pounces, where the thing about wall pounces and the ploink is that we need to be in the all fours state to actually do it, but we will move a bit faster in the upright state. And so right before we hit the water, or in this case, hit the walls, I need to tap downwards to go into the ragdoll state just at a perfect moment so I can then press directly into the wall and actually wall pounce.
That's very nice.
Got it good. This one is the important one. So essentially, as I'm approaching the wall, I need to let go, tap just down, and then I need to let go down and then hold directly into the wall again. If I need to grab a pole, I then need to be holding upwards after that as well.
If you've ever seen gameplay of Rain World before, you might assume that this game doesn't have a lot of advanced movement, but I believe the movement guide for this game is just over 100 pages, and that's for the regular base character. So there's a lot of crazy stuff you can do with it.
This guy's a little annoying.
Yes, I see this. This is not looking good.
So when it comes to creatures, there's always going to be the same amount of creatures spawning in any area, but their behavior will be completely different, and it also depends on the personality they spawn with as well. They've wasted a bit more time than I would care for. They're also getting scared of the rain, which is why they're acting the way they do. I've also gotten the bad rain.
Yeah, no.
So I don't think we'll actually make it.
Yeah, no.
This one. I would have made it without the blue lizard, but now I'm used to that, so it's okay.
That was tragic.
Not including DLC, but yes. They also didn't have, I think they have wall pounces, because that was removed, and that's now back with the Downpour DLC.
I want to know who was really just hankering for the wall pounces.
Anchor.
Bring them back.
One of the old speedrunners, Demonic, really likes it. They did an RD one a while ago. I don't know if they ever really used it.
I mean, technically that's death too. Because we did die to a scav earlier.
The scavenger stands.
The scover.
Oh, wait a second. Very
Oh.
important. Enable Twitch.
No, it's a bad idea.
We're gonna undo that real quick.
Has it been updated recently?
I don't think so.
Dang.
Show after a little longer. We'll jump. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Listen to
All right.
this again. So I'll be right back.
Magic. Now you're all stuck with me. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I am stuck with you. I have the cat here, but he's sleeping right now, so he's not gonna yell into the mic for me. He's sleeping directly on my backpack. He's got a cat bed, but no. I'm comfy cozy. Yes, thank you. That's it. I don't know. It's the character thing. I remember one of my friends was on my stream or watching my stream. They're like, hey, sometimes when you talk, there's a giant white square that pops up in the top left. Is that like a glitch?
Squares are glitches. They're not
They
real.
are true.
Mm.
It's the world's biggest stray pixel.
Cat pets that don't have hands for petting. What?
I'm talking about my cat because he's here right now.
Mm. Okay. 1080p. All right.
I need a stream again, by the way.
Yes.
Cyril, weren't you gonna go to bed?
Swirlith doesn't sleep ever.
It's
It's not
true.
real. Oh, I still runs. All right. Awake. All right. Hello, everyone. My name's Ice37, and today I'll be showcasing my run of the Rivulet Story speedrun in Rain World. Specifically, Rivulet is part of the Downpour DLC. Let's see. Make sure I said it. I didn't say GDQ. Hello everyone, my name's Ice37, and today I'll be showcasing my Rivulet story speedrun for Rain World. Specifically, Rivulet is a character shown and added with the Downpour DLC. This will be for a submission for Games Done Quick, and today I have Fletcher here to help out with some commentary. The circle will start, when the circle fills, the run will start, and we'll talk about the run as it happens.
Yeah, so pretty much if you're not familiar with Rain World, it is a 2D survival platformer, mainly imposed by the rain, hence the name. Most characters have a variance of time between when they start the cycle or the period between hibernations or checkpoints, with a random number of time between somewhere like 9 and 13 minutes. This character happens to have a very, very short amount of time. And one of the biggest things that you're going to be seeing in this first cycle is getting food. In the bottom left, you can see that there's a total of 6 empty circles. If you fill up 5 of them, you can successfully hibernate when you reach a checkpoint. If you have 6, you'll have 1 left over for the next cycle. But yes, like I said, this character has a very, very short time limit compared to a lot of the other ones. And because of that, they gave it a lot of very fast movement. If you've ever seen Rain World, especially just the default character, you will know that this is a lot faster than you will usually be able to move. And you do need every bit of the time that you can get with this character at the start here. Um, we also include, there is an option to remove any sort of randomization from the timer. And usually that's not allowed because it automatically sets it at the maximum it can be, but because this character has such short cycles, we allow that for this specifically.
Yes. We will have 2 cycles specifically, this being the first one after we actually get past this section. And the last cycle that we'll be doing, we'll be riding basically on the edge right before it starts to rain because we are speedrunners. It's not even then, it's not going to be too bad. Additionally, right now, what we're doing is we've eaten enough food so that we can save in a designated shelter. And then every time we save, we go up in our karma. And specifically, we want to go up in karma because at certain karma levels, at the higher ones, specifically we want to get to karma level 5, which is our current maximum. At karma level 5, we can go through certain gates that we want to be going through. These gates are essentially checkpoints or loading zones in between different areas. And so we are currently in a drainage system. And so we are going to be going into a new area added in the DLC called the gutter, which is connected to chimney canopy. And we'll be trying to go all the way up to the wall of the chimney canopy. And so the basic idea of how the glitch we're using right now to go up in karma without having to go out and get a lot more food and coming back is essentially we can hold down to starve, which doesn't save the game but increases our karma. But if we quit out within 30 seconds of the starve cycle, we then go back to our last previous save, but it keeps the karma increase that we had from starving. So now that we are all at our maximum karma, we can go up to the gate that we want. We've also brought some extra food, and we're going to be getting some other food. We're trying to eat as much food as we can in gates or shelters so we don't have to waste time during the cycle itself or otherwise.
Yeah, this cycle is probably one of the most important in the run because we are going to be going through a full region, basically a region and a half because we do have to go through drainage a little bit. And we are going to be getting there just at the start of the rain. These are scavengers, one of the creatures in Rain World. They can be anywhere in the region, and it's kind of random if they're here or not. They're a little bit dangerous for Rivulet because this character has a slightly negative relationship with them from the start. So, depending on the individual scavenger's personality, they might be more inclined to, stab you, which
Yep.
is not good for the run.
We're going through our first gate. Basically, we just matched up the symbol that was on the gate itself, or at least have a higher symbol than it. This whole beginning section that we're going to be doing is all going to be showing the more basic movement that Rivulet and just the Slugcats have. However, with Rivulet, because they're faster movement, they not only can backflip much higher, they also have the ability to do wall pounces on command, which generally isn't possible. We're also going to be able to do something called a ploink in just a little bit. One of the main things about Rain World movement, as any of the Slugcats, is that you're not just a glorified square with movement abilities like you are in a lot of other games. You are 2 body chunks that can move freely around each other. Although you are generally going to be in your upright state, you also have your on all fours or ragdoll state. And that's very important for some movement, like this. And so that was a ploink, where essentially, because Rivulet boosts really, really fast in water, if you hit water at a certain distance and then make sure you set up your movement correctly, you can then boost in the air and straight upwards. us to be able to get where we want. And then wall pounces here allows us to do a fast pounce off of walls that'll send us back away from it. So now one of the important things about both is that they both involve you having to be in the all-fours state. And so the most important thing that you need to be doing is you need to be moving it fast while in the upright state. Then right before you hit the wall, you need to be tapping down to actually be able to be in the all-four state right before you hit the wall. Then you re-hit the wall again while holding into the wall to actually be able to do the jump.
Ooh.
Which we almost got that one, but bounced off the ceiling there. This is the important one.
Oh, geez.
So, that was a little funny. Creatures generally can't react to you very well if you just suddenly appear next to them. I didn't mean to go into that one.
And creatures in general are not too much of an issue for Rivulet. Because the cycles are so short, you kind of just have to avoid combat when possible. And you're fast enough that you can outrun most enemies anyways.
Yes, there's not as many creatures as well when it comes to Rivulet. And so a lot of it is just based on your movement. And so now generally as Rivulet you just get this rain effect, but it's also starting to get near the end of the cycle. Some of the creatures are going to start getting scared and running for their dens.
And you might notice the screen is starting to dim as well. It's very subtle, but it is slowly getting darker.
And so this does help a lot with being able to go through at least this area without having, especially the white lizard that lived up here, being in the way.
Alright. Oh, wow.
So vultures, just a flying creature. They can be in the way sometimes. They're more flying walls than anything else. Additionally, the actual end effect of the rain, basically there'll be a whole build up till the rain actually happens. The rain will happen. It'll pick a certain end effect. We technically got one of the worst ones, which it just immediately goes into the heavy rain. But because we get here fast enough anyway, even with the few issues that we had going in the wrong pipe, some creatures in the way, we make it here quite comfortably. And
Yes, I
now
see someone mentioned in the
see-
chat that Rivulet has a bow tie and monocle.
Yes, so we have some mods on that we allow for speedruns, and that one specifically is the Dress My Slugcat mod. So we have our bow tie and monocle, because we gotta be fancy.
It's very important.
And then if you want to talk
Some of the
about
other mods that we've...
the other
Oh,
ones,
did you
yeah.
want to say something?
Yeah, if you want to talk about the other ones.
Yes. Some of the other mods that we allow are primarily the input displays in the bottom left. There's the blue one, which is just your generic regular input display, shows what he's doing. And the red one is what we call the fast roll button. Normally, it's a technique that you can only really easily pull off on controller, and it allows you to initiate a roll from a very low point, when usually you'd have to backflip or jump from a higher angle to get it. So it's essentially just allowing keyboard players to easily do the same movement as controllers do. And here we've reached the underhang, and our mechanics have switched to grappling.
So there's these grapple worms that are here. They help out a lot with the movement through here. So we're just going to be doing very particular things at certain spots.
The blue stuff on the walls, if the tentacles reach you, they do suck you in and kill you. However, the large
Additionally-
vines do not hurt you.
Yes. Though we have creatures here, like this guy, that can move around. And anywhere you see a gradient on the bottom of the screen, a black gradient, if you fall off the screen, you will die. So we're just making sure we're doing some things correctly. Right now we're hoping we don't have a certain creature in the way, but even if it is in the way, we're pretty used to going around them, even when it is in the way. Hello, Sneak Dog.
Said creatures are blind and they can only track you either by movement, like
Okay.
touching you, or if they can hear you do something.
There's a dude
Oh,
there.
he is there.
Not a bad spot. Kind of weird they're all tucked up, but... Alright, we're going to be heading into our next area here in a moment after I eat some food here. Food routing is generally pretty specific. We're trying to eat a very particular piece of food in a second. This piece of food will allow us to glow, which will be useful in areas in the future. But after the grapple section, we're immediately going to run into our next new mechanic, which will be past this next gate here.
Additionally, in this next region we're going to be going into, the timer is no longer an issue. It will no longer rain or do any sort of action at the end of the cycle that would normally kill you. So you can essentially survive for however long you want.
Alright, so now we'll know just right off what the mechanic of this area is, and that is it is a 0G area where the low or no grav will turn on and off periodically. We're hoping for very particular cycles. These cycles for how long the no grav and the low grav and the no grav be on is random. So we just gotta hope we get it at certain spots. We didn't get it here, so I have to attempt this awkward jump. Run up.
And there's the zero gravity kicking in.
Barely not getting into this one. Come on.
Come on, Rivula, you can do it.
Shouldn't have thrown that spear there. Next I get stuck where
I
it's
can't really tell
giving.
what's going on.
There's just a pipe there. And then I put a spear there. It might just go around. Right. So this area is the source of the blue rot that we see everywhere.
Oh no.
Shouldn't be able to pull me off, but it is very annoying.
Tragic.
I don't know why it wouldn't let me grab that for so long. It wouldn't let me go up in there. I shouldn't throw the spear upwards anymore, although I also thought I was in the actual spot itself.
We go again.
You do have to turn a setting on so it actually comes with you. Run this ogre. The rot's not too bad. It's just the stuff can be random. Need more water. Alright. Hello everyone, my name's Ice37, and today I'll be showcasing my Rivulet speedrun for my Rivulet story speedrun for my Games Done Quick submission. Specifically, Rivulet here is a character that was added in the recent Downpour DLC, and we want to show off the specific run. The timer will start when the circle fills. Additionally, Fletcher here is to help out with commentary.
Yes, hello. For those of you who aren't familiar with Rain World, it's a 2D survival platformer, and the main idea is you make it from checkpoint to checkpoint called shelters within a certain time limit. And at the end of that time limit, rain starts to pour down and will eventually kill you if you don't make it into a safe place fast enough. However, in order to successfully move from one cycle to the next, you have to eat enough food to fill yourself up. In this case, this character has 5 circles that it must fill. You can see that there in the bottom left. However, there is an extra one left for a 6th one, and that one will be carried over to the next cycle, so you'll only have to get 4 little bits of food instead. This character is mainly meant as sort of a movement showcase because it can do a lot of interesting things. It was designed as sort of a water type character to help enhance some of the more aquatic parts of the game. And it is really good underwater, but it's also really fun on land as well. You'll see a bunch of different mechanics shift and change throughout this. Right now, we're just kind of trying to finish the first little bit of this and get to a shelter. That actually went very well.
So this is one of the save shelters that we need to go into. We've eaten enough food, but the important thing is that every time we save, our karma will go up. Every time we die, our karma will go down. We start at our lowest amount of karma, which is the karma level of 1. And we need to get to a karma level of 5 as to be able to do what we're trying to do. Specifically, there are gates in between regions, which are essentially, they're gatekeeping you, and they are loading zones between areas. So we need to be going through a few of those, and the first one we're going through requires us to be at our maximum karma of 5. And so we don't want to just go out there, just eat a bunch of food, and save just over and over and over again. So instead, we're going to use a glitch called karma catching, which is one of the most important glitches for Rain World speedrunning. Specifically, what we are doing is we're eating enough food to save for the first time, and then have enough to also starve, which is at least 1 more food pip than usual. And then we hold down, our bar goes to the left, it'll starve, it'll bring us to the next cycle, it'll not save the game, but it will increase our karma. But if we then quit out the next cycle, we keep the increased karma, but it'll send us back to the last actual save. And so we can starve again and again and again, and we just keep increasing our karma until we're at the karma level of 5 that we want to be. We are now. Put out one last time. And so right now, what we're trying to do is, because Rivulet has really short cycles before the rain comes, we're going to be going to an area called the Wall. And we're going to be going through a new area added to the game with the Downpour DLC called the Gutter, which is connected to Chimney Canopy, which is then connected to the Wall. And so we're going to be going through these regions to get to where we want to be. That is
These
a
creatures,
scavenger.
these creatures are called scavengers. They're a kind of common thing that we encounter. They can actually randomly spawn throughout the region. They're not even guaranteed. The issue with them is that when Rivulet starts the game, they have a very, well, not very, but a kind of low reputation with them. So depending on the individual scavenger, they're more likely to be aggressive towards you and can be kind of an annoyance when you encounter them. But usually you can just push past them and you'll probably be fine.
So we're really only going to see them there. We're not really going to see them anywhere else. And then we're also eating food at particular times so that we don't have to be moving or wasting our time to eat them. So we had 2 extra in the shelter, now 2 in the gate here. So now we're entering the Gutter, the new area of the Downpour DLC. And talking about the movement of Rain World, compared to other platformer games, we are not just a glorified square that can jump around and have movement abilities. We are 2 body chunks that can move independently of each other, although generally we're going to be in our upright state, in which we can do a lot of different movement. The being on the all fours state, or the ragdoll state essentially, can also allow us to do some particular movement. In this case, there's some particular movement that only Rivulet can do, or at least can do well. One is called a ploink, and one is called a wall pounce. We should be able... This spider is a bit in the way.
Oh, I didn't even see him there.
So that was a ploink. So essentially, a ploink is, because Rivulet's so fast, and can boost really, really fast in the water. If we land in the water at a particular angle and moving at a certain velocity, either left or right, in this case neither, we can send ourselves straight up by boosting what is essentially out of the water, doing a swim boost out of the water is what's happening. And for wall pounces, we just did one there. We are essentially jumping into the wall and forming a wall pounce, which generally characters cannot do without having a little bit of extra speed, but Rivulet can just jump in the walls and do them if they so please. The thing about this is, for both of these, it requires you to be in the all fours state, but we need to be in the upright state to get the speed that we want to initially set it up. And so right before we do the ploink or do wall pounces, we tap down to go into the all fours state that we want to be in. And so essentially we're holding into the wall, then we tap down, and then we hold into the wall again and press jump to do a wall pounce. And then if we need to grab a pole, we'd be pressing upwards directly after that. Okay.
Ooh.
So
This cycle's actually going very well.
Yes. Creatures in this game are all consistent, but their movements and the personalities that they spawn with are not. Generally, they're all going to act the same, and they can only move so much within a certain cycle. So the faster you go, the better. And more often than not, creatures are going to be more tame than you think they are. Additionally, we're just about to make it where we want to be.
If you notice, the background is starting to get darker and darker, and that signifies that you're at the end of the time limit and that you need to get to a safe place. We are very close to the next one, and we did make pretty good time, so it's not going to be too much of an issue here, I don't think. And once you cross that gap, you're pretty much free for the rest of the cycle, as long as you don't just stand there and let the rain get you.
Yes. Alright. Getting our next gate. Additionally, you can hear that the rain stopped. Essentially, once the rain actually hits its end effect, or when it actually is going to start raining, it can choose one of the few end effects. Some of them are just an immediate torrential downpour. Some of them like stop raining entirely, and then it'll come back in waves, or just then we'll hit full intensity immediately. So if we were a little bit slow, we would hope for one of the slower effects, essentially. But now we made it into our next shelter. We are now in the underhang, which we're going to be moving from basic movement here in just a second.
Ooh.
A little strange.
Dodgy.
One thing to talk about is that our rivulet here does have a bow tie and a monocle on. We allow some mods in speedruns of Rainworld. In this case, the Dress My Slugcat mod. And so that's how we were able to have the bow tie and the monocle.
Yes, and the other mods we allow are the input displays in the bottom left. There's one that is the blue one, which is just your regular input display. The red one is something we call the fast roll button, which it's essentially that there's a movement that you can do on controller by inputting a very, very lightly down angle, like that allows you to roll from a height you normally wouldn't be able to do. And since keyboards can't perform that movement easy, we do allow that just so it's an even playing field.
Additionally, we're in Grapple Land. We've been doing Grapple Land for a little bit now. Blue kills you. Additionally, if you see a gradient at the bottom of the screen, gray gradient, that means you can fall off the edge. Okay. Wait a second here. Make sure I do that right.
Yes, if you get too close to the blue stuff, or you let one of the tentacles touch you, they will drag you in and kill you. There's also the big blue guys who are blind, but they can hear you move, and if they feel you, they'll also know where you are.
Yep. So we'll see one in this next room. So we're hoping they're not going to be in too bad of a location. Please don't grab me.
Ooh,
So we're going
there
to
he is.
go down here. Actually, I've got a better idea. Actually seeing where he is. Ooh.
Oh no. Oh no.
A little annoying with the screen transitions, but
Yeah, the camera is sometimes not kind.
so in that case, as long as I'm breaking line of sight with its main core, it's not too much of a problem. I need to eat this food before I forget. And then we're now going to be entering the next area, which will change the mechanics once again. We'll no longer see the grapples.
One of the biggest things about the next area we're going to be going into is that the rain is no longer going to be an issue while we're inside there. As long as you are in one of the few regions, either ones that are above the clouds or way, way deep underground, there won't be any rain to end your cycle. So as long as you're alive via other means, the rain will never come to kill you.
Yep. I delayed myself a bit more than I would have liked on that blue daddy long legs there, but we're doing pretty good. Additionally, when it comes to this area, once we're in here, there is no rain. We kind of just said that, but I want to make sure we say that. But now that we're here, get to see the mechanic. And that is this area has no gravity in it. Or at least it'll turn on and off. You'll hear a sound effect for it. We're hoping for very particular cycles. This sounds good.
Very nice. And so the zero gravity doesn't work like it would in real life. You can kind of control yourself in midair and you can throw things to boost yourself. You can throw things to boost yourself in the regular gravity, but it has a way more of effect in the zero gravity situations. And it's pretty much the best way to propel yourself.
So I am
Otherwise, you just have to sit there and wiggle and hope you go in the right direction.
Yes. Additionally, here we eat a certain type of food, which is called a neuron, which I'm holding two in my hands right now. And so we'll be eating these, and they do a very particular effect on you once you eat them. That being,
It's
it
a
will
very
start
cool one.
to glow. I didn't mean to throw that one, but we only needed to eat one anyway. I'm waiting for 0G to turn back on. I can't do too much till it does. It's unfortunate that it sent me back.
And you saw a little bit there. If you're in an area where you don't have any items and there's no walls nearby, you can't really move yourself. So you need to position yourself to either be by a wall or make sure you have an item in hand so you can easily push yourself in a certain direction.
Yes. I haven't had the corner push me back in quite a while, but now we're here. And we got to eat that last bit of food I wanted to eat.
A lot of the big daddy long legs creatures are actually attached to the walls of these rooms. So if they hear you, it's not too much of a big deal because they can't follow you, but they can still reach out their tentacles and grab you if you happen to be too close.
Additionally, we're going to start seeing another part of this area, that being whenever 0G is on, there's these giant microwaves that can be on. 0G turned
Slug
off at
zappers.
just the wrong time. If you're near a wall, you can start crawling towards it, but it turned off again at the wrong time.
I thought you had a throwable to propel yourself, but it was just your bow tie.
Yes, no rock right now. It's not a good spot to be in without
There you
zero
go.
geo. And then we're here. We got the big blue slug zappers. We're gonna not move too fast. Always will turn off at the most inopportune moment. Don't want to go too fast over that because it's easy to fall into the pit.
And in case you were getting bored, the mechanics are about to change again. I love how all the neurons just flop over whenever the gravity stops.
Alright. Now we have found the ball. So now that we've taken out the giant battery of this place, essentially, and now carrying it with our bare hands, the demon core, there will be no more 0G cycles. Why did I grab that? Okay. And so now it's just back on us moving and not having to wait for random cycles that can slow us down.
However, we do get a really cool ability, and now that we can control gravity with the use of the ball.
Yes, we're not going to use it much while we're here. It'll help us when we go back into the underhang. Additionally, it'll help us move a little bit faster in the water, make us get to top speed faster and stay at it, though not too much use when it's tight corridors. It does help.
See, that guy's still stuck to the wall. They will never leave their designated area.
And so, for right now, we're going to be going to underhang. When we activate the ball, it does an anti-gravity effect to make us fall slower, as well as otherwise make our jump much better. So we're going to be using that instead of the grapple, is the basic idea. Now, let's talk about the lore and a bit of the world that we're in. So what we're in right now is a giant supercomputer. And this giant supercomputer thought it was a good idea to attempt to solve a problem without consulting his senior first. And so he failed to solve his problem and accidentally created a super cancer, which is this blue stuff that we're seeing everywhere. He also used so much water at the time that his senior, who was nearby, didn't get enough for the cycle, essentially, and broke down. And so right now, we're taking the power source that this supercomputer, an iterator, has, and helping him out by bringing it to his senior, who is nearby, so we can reactivate her superstructure, and so she can get back up to full power, essentially, after she fell into the ocean. This does mean that Pebbles is now going to die, but this is something that he wants to do, essentially, to atone. So we're helping him out. Yeah.
Something to mention is that from here on out, the amount of time we have is now increased a lot, where beforehand we would only have a couple minutes to get from one location to the next. We essentially have like 13 minutes, 14.
It's 13 minutes and 20 seconds for
Yes.
our maximum cycle here. And essentially, as we kind of said, these computers run off of water. They're the reason why the water, it rains so much, essentially. And now that we've essentially turned this one off, couldn't move left there, that was weird. Now that we've essentially turned this one off.
Oh,
That was a
Lord.
little sketchy. Usually don't get popped out like that. But now that we've essentially turned this one off, it won't rain nearly as often. So we got a lot of time to go where we're going. This is the last time we're no longer going to save in this run. Well, we technically are, but non-traditional save. So we're going to be going right to Looks to the Moon's iterator can, which is the name of the other iterator that fell into the ocean. And Right now we're at 5 pebbles can. I'm gonna pay attention to this real quick.
Watching this always gives me anxiety. There's a guy. This is kind of an inconvenient location, but as you can see, he stood there and he jumped a couple of times, which makes noise for this creature to follow. Fortunately,
Not really
it is
doing anything.
being a bit stubborn.
Okay. It made noise at a bad time.
They can't go through the small pipes, can they?
Pretty sure it should be able to. It's not going to, though.
Okay, we lived.
Okay. Don't have the ball active anymore, which is unfortunate. I shouldn't have activated it earlier. We can't go through that quite as quickly. But that one can move around quite a lot.
And if you notice, whenever we go past one of them, the middle of their bodies that the tentacles come out of will light up whenever they sense a noise. So if you jump and they do a little flash, that means that they've heard you and will most likely start heading right for you.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. I'm dead there.
That's
That spot's really dumb because you can't move once you hit that.
yeah. Some of the proto is very hard to see. There's a really mean one somewhere in Underhang. It's like in one of the tubes that you can go through.
Okay. I think I'm gonna reset.
That's a good
Also,
idea.
because I have to go to the bathroom. I don't know how to fix an echo getting picked up from your end.
I mean, I don't think anyone was recording an echo. I think my cat was just screaming.
No, I can tell it's happening. At least from my end. So I don't like it when that guy's on the left, because if you don't boost far enough into the room, you'll immediately die to that thing. Even though it doesn't look like you should, if you touch it at all, you'll just die. Which I don't know why, because it's not a tentacle. Just you get stuck in the side, and you can't move. Hello, Nano. So hello, everyone.
We're not ignoring you. We promise.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom again.
All right. One of those pups was floating. Hello, chat. I'm here again. He died. You killed him, Nano. How do you feel? You threw his spear at him and you killed him. My cat actually just ran off because my father opened a door and he got distracted, so he's gone right now. But trust me, the ghost of all of the fur he left here is here. No more bub, he's gone. In a different time. Literally enough to make a second bubby. Yeah, there's this one patch of proto in the underhang that's in a tunnel, and you can't really see it, and I've boosted into it a couple times, and it's really annoying. I have not. I tend to just use a lot of quality of life mods. Or funny sound mods. Hi, Exothermatic. I stole the stream. It's mine now. It is. We've died once to a scav, once to a regular DLL, and once to a proto, I think. And once to the rain. I mean, Nano, it seems like you're taking a break from everything, Rain World, at this point. I don't think you've streamed in like 2 months. It's so sad. We have we have pre-cycles turned off. Not because they're an issue in Underhang, but mainly because they just introduce more RNG. And also, yeah, the pre-cycles in Underhang are really not good. Awaken from your coffin. Enemy random is horrifying. I mean, Monk has more than normal because Monk is further in the timeline, which is really funny because it makes the easy character a bit harder.
Whoa. Okay.
Ah, sorry, I died.
You died. I've never lost grapple war when I was pre-cycling.
Co-op rando? That sounds terrible. Why would you say that to me? Okay, but room randomizer or enemy randomizer? Your answer depends on if I kill you or not.
Because it's funny. It's not that funny. It really isn't.
No. See, room rando, enemy rando, and turn on Twitch integration. And then we'll both hate ourselves.
Look, to rot. It's how we feel.
The rot.
Haven't done any randos yet. Enemy rando's kind of not good. If you want a good rando, you either do Twitch integration or you do Chaos mod.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Chaos Mod. Chaos Mod is my favorite implementation of that. You know, maybe we should just do co-op Chaos Mod. It's fun. And we get a bunch of babies.
Oh, potato me.
Oh, please, Nano, please do Chaos Mod. Please, it's so fun.
What is in speedrun? I don't. The any percent speedrun for that character isn't that hard. But also, I'm just not that interested in it.
Was that like, what was that 9-hour speedrun that you had to verify?
There was 100% for Pain Cat. Logs dramatic. Do you know what you're doing? It isn't too bad, but also I've never been to Pebbles yet, and getting to Pebbles at all is always hard.
Yeah, it's miserable.
It's painful. I remember.
If you get karma stuck in outskirts, you're done.
I feel like that place isn't that bad.
For me, it is because I can't see the background.
Also, it isn't.
Saying 100%.
100%.
Oh no, Hunter, no! I don't want to think about it.
You do have to get Hunter as Saint because it is possible.
It's so scary.
So it's not good. Yeah. Was it possible again? I forget exactly.
It's because you can eat a batfly and then starve. And you gotta do that for like 5 cycles, I think.
I think there's a better way, which is egg bug stuff.
Okay, but the only
And
egg
then
bug
you
spawns for
hit an
Saint are
echo.
lineages. So you have to lineage an egg bug spawn because this game is cruel.
I know Turtle. Oh, I know Turtle did it at one point. I forget what it is exactly. What are you doing here? I don't know. Why am I here? Hello, Blue Rocky.
The egg bugs in Rubicon, those are fire bugs. They're considered a different enemy. They don't count, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. Hello? Hello, Will.
Sticky bombs are vegan.
How's the run? We had some issues with it, but it's going okay. Also, everyone say happy belated birthday to Will.
Oh,
Did you
happy
get
birthday.
speed? We're doing pretty okay so far.
Is it actually their birthday?
It's their birthday yesterday, I believe.
Happy yester birthday.
To add that behavior that they did. Firebugs, Apex, yes. Very powerful.
I'm still mad that firebugs are Rubicon exclusive. They would be so cool anywhere else.
I wish we got more strawberries this.
Yes, also
What I
true.
want. Okay. And we're gonna start again. I still don't feel great. Explain that.
Like, uh, in what way?
Just talking
Mm,
doesn't feel good right now. It's the end of the day. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna start again. Hello, everyone. My name's Ice37, and today I'll be showcasing my Rivulet story run of Rainworld. Specifically, Rivulet here is part of the new Downpour DLC that recently came out. And so we'll be showcasing that. I'll be talking about specific things that happen in the run, why it's different from others as we go on. The timer is going to start when this circle fills, and I have Fletcher here helping me out with commentary as well.
yes, hello. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Rainworld, it is a 2D action survival platformer, and the main threat you have while getting through it is the timer. When that timer, oh, we forgot to restart
Yep.
the game.
We're gonna. Oh, it did the thing. It did the thing where it was starving and it kept the save from the starve.
Oh,
I forgot that one existed. Mm.
silly funny.
Let me make sure it works again.
This speedrun tech is breaking the game.
So yeah, a starve, even when you delete everything, because it's temporary data, will stay. So if you end with a starve and then delete it, you'll load the starve, essentially.
Okay, but then if you complete the starve, does it save again?
It should be fine after that, yeah.
Science.
Right. Hello everyone, my name's Ice37, and today I'll be showcasing my Rivulet story speedrun of Rainworld. Specifically, Rivulet here is part of the Rainworld DLC Downpour that recently came out, and we'll be showcasing this for Games Done Quick submission. I have Fletcher here to help out with some commentary, and the timer will start here when the circle fills.
Yes, and for those of you who are unfamiliar with Rainworld, the entire gist of it is that it is an action survival 2D platformer, mainly imposed by a time limit. Like a lot of other platformers, there's a time limit that determines how long you get to make it to the next checkpoint. And if you don't make it in that time, rain comes down and essentially kills you if you wait too long. So the biggest thing is when you go from checkpoint to checkpoint, in order to successfully hibernate between cycles, you need a certain amount of food. For this character, it happens to be 6. You can hibernate with 5, and there's one that you can have that gets carried over. So if you hibernate with 6 food, you'll have 1 on the next one, so you'd only have to eat about 4. And this character is really interesting for a showcase because it has a lot of movement that a bunch of other characters don't really get to experience. This character was designed as more of an aquatic sort of showcase,
Being
but
bullied.
it does. Oh no, we're getting bullied by the snails
They
here.
would stun you.
But this character has a lot more movement than just being underwater, and it's really fun. So right now we're just going around getting enough food to sleep. Oh, I hope those guys aren't in here. We're good.
Alright. So, now we've eaten enough food, I've also gotten some extras that we can have for the future cycles, so we don't have to eat more later. We saw some scavengers, they can be in the way sometimes, but that just kind of happens. Those can be anywhere in a region at any given time, although we're only going to see them in the starter region. Now that we've eaten enough food and we've gotten to a shelter so that we can rest, every time we properly rest, our karma will go up. And we want our karma to go up so that we can go through gates. Gates require you to be at a certain level of karma. The ones that we need to be going through require our maximum karma level of 5. So we need to get to our karma level of 5. And to do that, instead of just going out every single cycle for 4 cycles until we go from our initial karma of 1 to karma of 5, we're going to be using a glitch that we're doing right now, which is called karma caching. And essentially what happens is we get enough food to rest the one time, that is a proper save, and then we hold down with a little bit of food, and we are then able to do a starve, which doesn't save the game, but it still increases our karma. So if we quit out at the immediate point that that cycle starts, the starve cycle starts, it'll keep our karma increase, but it will not keep the save because it doesn't save when it starves. So it brings us back to the last proper save. And so then we can starve again, go up in karma level again, and quit out and go back and not be starving anymore. Keep doing that to a karma level 5, and then we can keep going and play the game without having to worry about food, essentially. We're still routing food particularly so that we can eat in parts where we don't have to move anyway, like in shelters or gates, like right now. But for routing things, we are going to be going into a new area added with the DLC called the Gutter, which is part of the chimney canopy. We're trying to get to the wall right now and then save there. And so we're going up
Scavenger.
through there. Yeah, scavengers, but they're no big problem. I also start with a pearl in my stomach that I can eventually take out. And they really like pearls, so I threw it at them. Didn't really have an issue with that.
Sometimes, and I wasn't sure if you mentioned this, but the reason that these guys can be kind of an issue is because you start out with a slightly negative relationship with them, and if it's a particularly aggressive scavenger, they will attack you, which can be kind of annoying, but luckily they're just at the start of the run, and you usually don't see them in any other parts of this run, so it's only really an issue here.
We've also made it to our first gate. Wait for it to activate. We are our last bits of food here. And we'll be going through the gutter. Now to talk about movement in the game, comparative to other games where, other platform games specifically, can very often are just a glorified square with extra movement abilities. In this case for Rain World, although we have our upright state where we're going to do a lot of standard movement, we also have our on all fours or ragdoll state, which is useful for a lot of different movement. For Rivulet specifically, it's going to be very relevant for 2 bits of movement, that being the ploink and the wall pounce. Otherwise, basic movement generally involves this guy is just body blocking me. Okay. Oh. Otherwise, basic movement involves backflip, rolls, and glides, which can all be input, just like fighting game inputs, and that is a ploink. Essentially what happens is... Ooh, going down the fall. Essentially what happens is, with both a ploink and a wall pounce, we'll be doing a lot of wall pounces here in a second, but you need to be in an all-four state, but we need to get enough speed as to actually be able to do the movement. For the ploink, because Rivulet has such a fast boost in water, and if we jump at the water at a particular height and then spam jump while also not moving either left or right, we can get sent upwards by having essentially our in water boost happen outside of water. Now we're doing some wall jumps, but the main thing with wall jumps and ploinks is that you need to be in your all-four state. So right before we hit the wall for the wall jumps, I need to tap down, so I go in the all-four state, ragdoll state. And so we're basically going into the wall as fast as we can, and then we tap down to go in our all-four state, and then we hold into the wall and then press jump. We need to grab a pole afterwards, we then need to be holding upwards, is essentially how it goes. And so we'll be using that as much as we can for here. Yep.
So this character happens to have very, very short cycles until the rain comes, which means that this cycle is essentially the most important in the entire run, because when we get to the location that we're trying to go, the rain is basically already going to be approaching. And sometimes it matters more than other times. This one is going quite well, but you'll start to see around now, the background is starting to dim and get darker, and you might start to hear a bit of rumbling as well to signify that the rain is starting.
Yep. And so one other thing about the wall pounces, it's a bit of movement that any character can do. However, because Rivulet is so fast, they can just jump in the walls and do it. Ooh. Alright, we're just trying to make it across here. We make it across this last jump, and then we're all good. Doesn't matter what the rain's doing. Ooh, don't want to go in there. So one thing about the rain is that after a certain amount of time, it'll start to do its actual death rain. That what we were just watching was a cosmetic rain that Rivulet just has. It just started its ending death rain, where essentially once the timer ends, it'll choose one of a certain amount of end effects. And so what it initially was choosing was a rain where it stops raining for a second, then there's a few raindrops, and then it's just instant downpour that'll kill you instantly if you're out there. Because we changed regions, this region had a different end effect that was just a gradual growing one. But sometimes if you're going pretty slow, it doesn't matter. But now we've saved, so we're now in the underhang. We're about to change how we move again. Talk about some other things about the run. You notice I do have a bow tie and a monocle on, which is very important.
Very important.
For Rainworld speedruns, we allow mods, specifically this one being the Dress My Slugcat. We allow some mods, but this one specifically we allow is the Dress My Slugcat mod, which allows stuff like changing the sprites to be a bow tie and a monocle, essentially.
Yeah, they can be made by anyone, so as long as you have software that can edit the sprites, you can essentially make any kind of custom skin you want for them. Some of the other mods that we allow are the input displays in the bottom left. You can see there's a blue one and a red one. The blue one is just your usual input display showing your movements and what's going on. The red one is a fast roll button. Rolling is a technique that you do when you hit the ground while holding down, and it just allows you to locomote. Oh, wow. There it goes.
I didn't do the jump correctly. I did a lot of those parts really slow. I didn't feel good about it. I guess we'll restart. I was thinking about not, but...
Well, I mean, if you're not gonna restart, Then might as well just use the other run we had.
Almost 4 minutes to one death, though. At least one. But yeah. And you're right. I don't know. I'm just not feeling the talking today as well.
We can try a different day. That is an option.
I kind of want to keep going regardless because it's nice to do anyway. Ooh.
Is it gonna do the starve glitch again? Because you starved at the end there.
Did it actually start?
I think you did.
Remember to drink water? Yes.
Yay, I'm
I'm
right.
trying. I can still feel it because it takes a while.
Hydrate or dehydrate. The McRibulate. No one laughed at that, really?
No.
Dang, okay.
You can laugh at this, though. Very important.
Nano laugh. I'll take it.
Fortunately, you cannot hear. You don't get the full sound clip. Thank you. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Actually, wait. I don't know if you know. You guys didn't even hear that. I have to play it again then. Reveal bathwater? No.
Mm.
That's enough of that now. Oh. Water time. Oh no. I've almost had all the water in. Be for good luck. Yes. All right. Hello, everyone. Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name's Ice37, and today I'll be showcasing my Rivulet story speedrun of Rain World. Specifically, this will be a submission video for Games Done Quick. Additionally, I'll have Fletcher here helping me out with commentary, and the timer will start here when the circle fills.
Yes, if you're unfamiliar with Rain World, it's your standard 2D action adventure platformer, but it's got a lot of survival elements in it. Specifically, the main thing that you look out for is the time limit. Each cycle essentially has a time limit from when you wake up to when you make a checkpoint. And if you don't get to the checkpoint within that time limit, rain comes down and kind of kills you a little bit. But another thing is that you got to make sure that you eat, and you can see it in the bottom left. You need at least 5 food to successfully hibernate when you reach a checkpoint. You can keep up to 6, and if you have 6, you'll have 1 left over for the next cycle. And that's just going to be this first beginning cycle. It's pretty simple. We're just going to get food, and we're going to make it to our first checkpoint to kickstart some other exploits and glitches that we're going to be using. This character in particular is a good showcase for this game because there's a lot of different movement that it can do, and it was essentially designed as an aquatic character, but a lot of the cool stuff you can do with it is on land. But right now, we're just, like I said, going through the basic first cycle, getting to a shelter, and setting up some other exploits to make the game a little bit easier on us.
All right. So now we've made it to our shelter here. We've had enough food. We also have extra for later, so we don't have to eat food later. We're going to be setting up the first glitch of the game, which is really the most important glitch of the game, which is karma caching. So now every time we properly save in a shelter, our karma goes up a level. As Rivulet, we start at the bottom base level of 1 karma. We can go to a maximum of 5. We need karma because we need to go through gates. And gates have a requirement of a certain amount of karma. The first one we have to go through, of course, needs a karma level of 5. And so we need to go get that karma level of 5. Instead of eating a bunch of food, saving, eat a bunch of food, saving over and over again until we have the karma level of 5, instead we go and glitch the system essentially. And so what we're doing is karma caching, which is you save once properly, then you'll do a starve, which is you have a little bit of food but not enough to properly save. It'll not save the game, but it will bring you to the next cycle and increase your karma. But if you quit out within 30 seconds of that starve cycle, you'll keep the karma increase, but it'll send you back to the last proper save, which means you still have the karma. You can starve again, and you keep doing that till you get up to the karma level you want. In this case, karma level 5, so we can go through the gate we want, and then we can go on with the game. One of the things to state, bottom left, all the little small dots around the solid circle and the symbol, those are how long a cycle is. As kind of said before, our cycle isn't very long when we're playing as Rivulet, and so each one of those represents 20 seconds. And we're going to be going fairly far in this first cycle here, first proper cycle here as Rivulet. We're going to be going into a new area added in the Downpour DLC called the Gutter, which is part of Chimney Canopy. And then we're going to be going to the wall, which is connected to Chimney Canopy. Right. And then right now, we're hoping we're not going to run into scavengers.
They're here.
He only threw a warning shot, so that was good. That guy did not throw a warning shot, but he missed anyway.
The thing about these guys is that they are very... Rivulet starts with a slightly negative reputation compared to a lot of the other characters in this game, so they can be kind of an issue when you encounter them here. But luckily, they're only really an issue in the starting area, and it's right at the start of the run, so if something happens, not too big of a deal. Also, I need to step away for a second, but okay. You got this part. So, 1 second.
There's these snails here. One of them stunned me, which normally they don't have that kind of time. Additionally, one of the things to talk about is some of the movement in this game. You saw me do something a little bit special there. Also, we're in a gate now. It's activating and loading the next area. I'm going to eat food that we have here so we can eat it while we're not losing time. And so when it comes to movement in this game, when it comes to other 2D platformers, generally when you're playing other 2D platforms, so you're basically a glorified square with movement abilities. For Rain World, although you have your standard upright state that you can do a lot of different movement from, such as backflips, slides, pounces, and such, which is generally all input by doing essentially what is fighting game inputs, basically diagonal down when you're standing, and jump at the same time to do a slide. But for Rivulet, they have some options for other movement, and it's very important that they be in the on all fours state, or the basically the ragdoll state. Ooh, that's unfortunate. We're trying to do a ploink right now. I'm gonna try it one more time. There's ploinks and wall pounces. And so both of those require some level of you being... Did not mean to go back in there. The spider's pushing me around. You being in the all fours state. And so right before I hit the water, and for wall pounces right before I hit a wall, I need to be in a all fours state. So right before both of those, I tap down, and then I spam jump for the ploink. For the wall pounce, tap down right before I hit the wall, then I press jump while holding into the wall to do the wall jump. And both are very important. Also, when it comes to creatures like that cyan lizard, generally he isn't here. As it comes to runs for any runs in this game, all creature spawns are consistent, but their behavior is not, whether it comes from their personality or random choices that they choose for movement.
And I
Alright.
am back, and wow!
Oh.
That was an interesting one.
You can combo the wall pounces as well if you time it right. It is pretty hard because you do move quite fast. I don't like doing the second one there because it seems to bounce you off the ceiling, but this is the important one. So now we're making it up to the top of Chimney Canopy here. Kind of said before, when it comes to this cycle, we do want to be fast. Otherwise, the rain can be a problem. Although that's not really an issue, especially when we're speedrunners.
I
A
always
little
just
bit of
like
issue with
that
the
you always
flags.
kind of get there at the exact same time. And it's right
Yes.
at the end. It allows people to see kind of what the end of a cycle looks like and how the screen gets darker.
So that'll be right about now. You start to hear the rumbling. We just gotta make it through these next rooms before the rain comes. Generally, when it comes to a lot of other runs in this game, rain isn't a factor whatsoever, but it'll be a factor in two cases for this run, that being this cycle and the last cycle that we run. We were a little slow. But
Looks
the
like
end
it's going to be
effect
fine,
already
though. I think you
started.
got the good rain.
Yes.
So this is a particular rain pattern that when it activates, it will seemingly stop for a little bit. But after those big droplets you see on the screen there, it will start raining at full force. And that can be really useful if you happen to get there at a bad time, because it can give you just a little bit of extra time to get over that gap, which would be an issue if it was raining full force.
Yep. So because we've made it to a gate, resets the end effect essentially. Generally, we like to be here a little bit faster than I did, so we don't even see it at all. But I wanted to show off the point correctly. That's always fun to show.
You can plonk it.
Winkers. Alright, so now we're saved again. Now we're going to be in the Underhang. The Underhang's a very interesting place. We'll also be changing movement mechanics of how we do things. One important thing to point out as well while we're here is that our little rivulet here has a... make sure I get that correctly. But our little rivulet here has a bow tie and a monocle, which is added by using a mod called Dress My Slugcat. We allow that mod and a few others when it comes to speedrunning this game, just to make it a bit more interesting.
Specifically, the other mods we allow are the input display, which you can see in the bottom left there. There's the blue one, which is just your general input display, shows your movements and how you're inputting them. And the red one is what we call the fast roll button. You can initiate a fast roll specifically on controller by inputting a direction on the analog stick. And it's a bit harder to pull off than a normal roll, especially on keyboard where you can't do analog or very like slight diagonal inputs. So it just kind of makes it so that keyboard players and controller players are on the same playing field.
Additionally, we're in the Underhang now, which means we're using this grapple bug we picked up to be able to be doing grapple movement. So when it comes to grapple, they have two firing modes, which is you holding straight up, which would be an auto aim to always hit whatever's above you, or holding straight left or right to do an angle that'll get you some momentum. Additionally, anything that's blue, well, most things that are blue will kill you. And if the bottom of the screen has a black or gray gradient, that means if you fall off of it, you will die. Just want to set this up. There we go.
And there are also those big black creatures that have blue tentacles coming off of them. They are usually kind of an issue in this area. However, they are blind, so they can only tell where you are either if you make noise or they manage to touch you.
Yep, that's the only one that can really be in the way. He decided to be in a really good spot today. That's good, but we're very used to that guy being in a very bad spot. Even if he was in a bad spot, wouldn't have been too bad. I picked up anything but the food. Some food here. And we're going to be heading into another area. No more grapple. No more grapple time. This area will change mechanics again. We'll be doing a bit of movement, but picking up some food. We're also going to be eating a very particular food in just a second that have a special ability to it, which we'll talk about.
Another thing to mention is that when we are in this region that we're about to go into, the rain is no longer a factor. You don't have any sort of time limit on you.
All right.
It's only present in a few locations, specifically those that are above the clouds.
So, spoil it here so we can talk about it. This area is all about zero gravity movement. Well, kinda. So it has cycles that turn on and off. How long it's on, or how long it's off is both random. But we can hear the audio cue of when it turns on and off, the 0G. I hope I keep the 0G a little bit longer. Load up here.
Nice. And these blue tentacle vines here are safe to grab.
A little annoying it turned on right then. Please let me in. Thank you.
The zero gravity can be a bit hard to work with because you can only propel yourself either by throwing an object or bouncing off a wall. So if you don't have an object and you're not near a wall, you just kind of have to desperately wiggle and hope something happens.
So I've picked up the bit of food I was talking about that had special properties, that being a neuron. I have 2 of them in my hands. I think I only need 1. Additionally, when there's no gravity here, we can do this there. Get to eat this guy. And when I eat this guy, I can now glow, which would be useful later. Additionally, it will make us easier to see ourselves. Okay. Good gravity cycles so far. Although I'm touching poles here and slowing myself down. Right.
When gravity is not, well, zero gravity, usually only an up input will make it so that you grab a pole. But because, you know, it would be kind of annoying if you had to only hit up when you were going horizontally, they make it so basically if you're holding any direction while going towards a pole, you will grab onto it.
Which, yeah, just gotta, sometimes you press no directions. Very good
Nice.
cycles here. Also, with these giant things, these big blue microwaves, when the zero grav is on, they are on as well. Call them the slug zappers. For reasons you can probably guess.
And just in case you were getting bored, the mechanics are about to change again.
Okay, didn't do that quite as right as I was hoping. Little tight gap here.
Come on, Rivulet, you can do it.
Turned off anyway. And then jump in here. Jump in here this time. Yes.
Yes.
Now we touch the ball. So the ball is ours. We've stolen it. It's ours. We have the crown jewels. So this is the demon core. Well, it's the rare fraction cell. And it is a giant power cell. We've now turned off the anti-grav cycles that was happening.
And from here on out, your cycles will now be maximum length. They won't no longer be like 3 minutes long.
Right.
You'll actually have time to do things.
And to go into lore, essentially we're in a giant supercomputer and we've just pulled its power. It runs off of water and this giant battery, of course. Well, the giant in terms of power, small in terms of size. And because this computer runs off water a lot, it is the thing that's causing the rain, and why rain happens so fast around here, as for Rivulet. So now we've turned it off. Cycles will now be extremely long before it'll actually properly rain. Okay, wrong side.
Ooh.
And then for lore on this, effectively this giant superstructure, the iterator, essentially, supercomputer, his name is Five Pebbles. He decided one day he would try to solve a big problem without consulting his senior. Didn't end well, as he used so much water to do his computations that his senior did not get enough water to even run at all, so they fell into the ocean. A little ironic. And they, well, Pebbles here accidentally created a super cancer, which is this blue stuff. So Pebbles essentially asks us to take his giant ball, take his giant power cell ball here, and bring it over to Looks to the Moon so we can repower her stuff. Which will make him slowly die, but she'll be able to be reactivated again, but that's what he wants. However, we're not going to talk to him whatsoever. We are going to meet Moon at the end of the run, though.
We did used to meet Five Pebbles in the run before the route got changed, and it was very funny because you have to throw things at his face so he'll stop talking.
Yes. Which normally, if you played as any other Slugcat, he would die instantly if you hit him with anything. But it's funny that it's actually a good idea to hit him as a rivulet. And so, when it comes to these supercomputers, they're giant squares in the sky, essentially. We entered from a sky bridge on the left side of this iterator can. And currently we have gone underneath the giant square and have entered from the middle. And now we're going to be going off to the right and going down one of the legs that hold up this giant square.
I can't remember if I mentioned it a bit earlier because all of the takes are mushing together. But those big spider things, that guy right there, if you see it flash when you hit the ground, that means it's heard you. And we're going to be encountering a few more of those just as we make it out of the this region.
Yes. Also, we didn't really talk about what this ball actually does. And that is, if I turn this ball on while in water, it'll make us swim faster, or at least hit acceleration faster and stay at our top speed more consistently. And then if we use it in air, it'll make us fall slower. And I want to do the slide. Nice.
Ooh.
It'll make us fall slower and change our jump a bit. This guy here.
No matter how many times you do it, it's very, very anxiety-inducing to watch this.
Yes, just gotta watch out for that guy. He can move quite a ways around. There's a few other guys we need to worry about, otherwise some movement to not fall into the pit.
Is that rot on that platform to the left there? What's that about?
I don't know. You don't go over there. It's not real. Okay.
Alright.
So now we made it to the actual leg. We're gonna fall. And we got another big fall in a little bit, but now we're going to be back inside the structure a bit. There's going to be two of these big guys.
Oh.
It's an interesting bit of movement from that guy. He, like, jellyfish attacked me.
Luckily, they don't move super fast, so as long as you've got a good game plan, you can just go.
Yep. And even if one of the tentacles does start to grab me, it needs to actually be on me for a bit to properly grab me.
I forgot how many there actually are in here.
Okay.
Oh no.
That was a good one. So because of where it was, I wanted to really slingshot to the left real quick. And so getting a little stun from a fall there isn't too bad. Alright, so now we've gone down and we're off the superstructure, which means we're down in memory crypts, which is underneath the giant can. So because we're so far into the... So thank you for the follow Litter 9000. Hello. Because we are so far into the timeline, Pebbles has degraded quite a lot from his blue cancer.
And essentially, we are right
Yes.
under where he would be, so a lot of his stuff kind of fell down.
So down here, there didn't used to be any blue stuff, but now there's giant pieces of his structure, like here, that have completely
It also
fallen
did
down.
not have any sort of water as well.
Okay, that's a little weird. I find it interesting that there is water.
The orange.
Yep. I just want to make sure I deal with this correctly.
So the orange lizards, unlike a lot of the other lizards, are pack hunters, and they have a sort of telepathic communication. So if one of them sees you, they'll all know where you are, and
Yep.
they'll be able to like corner you.
I don't know
scary.
where the other two that were supposed to be there, because I was waiting for them to show up. They did not show
Could they have
up.
walked into the rot?
And they might have, but I don't know them to do that. This jump is interesting.
That
Go
guy cannot
down there.
move. He is programmed to stick near that wall at all times, so he can't kill you unless you're very close to him, that he can reach you from where he's at. Got some more orange guys. They're technically yellow guys, but I mean, look at that. Look at that guy. Just ignore the other two that are very clearly yellow.
Yes. That man got caught by the rot. Oh no.
That was so sad.
Alright.
We are now
This little
going
bit
into
of water
Spider World.
is very annoying because I can't do any slides in it. So, big thing about having this glow here, although now allows us to see in some of the dark areas. We don't really need that. But there's one spot that there's a bunch of small spiders that can all combine together. And those guys do have a chance to just simply decide they're all going to immediately be together and try to kill you. But if
because
we're
we're glowing,
they're scared
it
of
makes
us.
it a little less likely.
Yes. Try to use the ball for a bit of extra movement there. Didn't do it too well, but all that matters is not getting grabbed by the kelp. Here's the spiders.
Oh, yes. So if you rush at them and you have a source of light on you, or you are the source of light, they'll usually break up and scatter, unless they're already in a super big chain, in which there are some cases where they can overwhelm you. Ooh!
Last wall pounce of the run there.
That was nice.
Okay, I thought I was the lantern mouse and was confused.
Aha!
Scavengers. It's rare to see them here. That guy's a little aggressive. You can generally tell how they act from how they act. If they're going to be aggressive or not.
And you know, I can't believe we didn't mention this until now, but the red dots at the bottom of the screen that you see sometimes are a replacement for what would be threat music, because in this game, in a lot of regions, there is music that will indicate whether or not there is something threatening your life. And the red dots sort of act as a replacement of that in case there is no music or you're hard of hearing.
When we're in water, additionally, you'll see white dots at the bottom instead of red ones. And that'll tell us how much air we have underwater. We'll talk about that more later. Otherwise, I just stopped to eat a karma flower there. And the important thing about the karma flower is that if we die or quit out, we won't go down in our karma level, which will be important later. We'll hit a untraditional save, at which point we can quit out the moment we get it, which will allow us to basically skip an auto-scroller. And because we quit out, it counts as a death, but we need our karma up to our maximum of 5 to go through one last gate. Okay, that's unfortunate. And so that saves us a bit of time, as we don't need to eat the extra food to save again, or wait for a shelter to open and close again.
Yes, we are about to enter essentially the last big region of this run, and it is big. It is the biggest region in the entire game with Downpour included. It's ginormous.
There's some weird things happening with movement.
Yeah, you can see how smooth and weird the movement is when you have the orb activated underwater.
I was hoping I'd slide all the way up. Unfortunate.
Whee!
Okay. Got that dive that time. So if I press jump underwater, it'll use a bit of our air, but it'll give us a boost.
Usually, as any other character, it would be pretty useless to do that. But since Rivulet... Oh, there's a guy there. Since Rivulet was essentially designed to be an underwater character, it's a lot more beneficial to use the boost. Because if you're using the boost as a regular character, you can boost once or twice before you're basically drowning.
Also, you get a lot less distance whenever you boost. Still true for Rivulet, but generally doesn't matter how often water is there. Also, we went by an Aquapede, which is a water centipede.
And they're scary.
If both their heads touch you, it's like a battery and you get electrocuted. They added the water version in this DLC. Generally, that one's not in the way. He was a little in the way, but...
One of the other things about them is that if you happen to be in a close radius of them, when they electrocute something else, you will also be affected by it.
Usually just a stun. Additionally, I'm just looking at the timer by bringing up the map. We're doing very good on time. We do need to get to the last room in this cycle before the rain even starts, as it'll do kind of like an electric shock in the area. It'll kill you if it is raining.
I have no idea how you're meant to do that room. I haven't found a way to not get stunned when you drop down.
If you drop down and you input a roll, the moment you touch the ground, you won't get stunned. But setting it up can be annoying, especially with uneven terrain. So we're going to be taking a shortcut.
This region is mainly completely underwater. You can come here as other characters, though. It is a lot harder, and it requires careful positioning, usage of breath, and other items that increase your lung capacity.
We're going to be taking basically a shortcut. When it comes to pipes in this place, or just in the game in general, that's a jellyfish. They're clearly marked and what they are, but there are a few that aren't marked at all. We're going to be going through one of those, which is this one. Got that perfectly.
Very nice.
Also, do you want to talk about why, like how Moon is called the heart and stuff?
Yes, I do. So this is just kind of a cool little, it's not even really relevant to the canon. I mean, it kind of is, but not in like a literal way. But the way that Five Pebbles and Moon as regions were developed were in reference to a brain and a heart, respectively. Five Pebbles was designed to be like a nervous system leading up to the brain, and Looks to the Moon was designed to be the circulatory system leading to the heart, which is where the ending region of this game is. I see you're having an eel moment.
Ooh.
That was scary.
Okay, so that eel is the worst thing that can happen. Is he can go in a very, very wide range of this area because it's taken a very long time till we get here from where he initially spawns. That could have ended very poorly, but we made it just in time.
But yeah, the resemblance between the brain and the heart is really just sort of a figurative thing. Five Pebbles is, as a character, mainly ruled by his sort of own logic and wanting to figure things out. And Moon is generally considered a very emotional character. So it's just a neat little detail on how the regions were designed to actually reflect the personalities of the characters. Oh, goodness. There's one of those aquapedes. And we are actually approaching the end here. And something interesting that's going to happen is that we are going to be putting this giant orb battery back to where it belongs. And then as soon as we do that, we are actually going to quit out of the game.
Nice. So
And
because
the
we
game
have...
actually saves right when you initiate that cutscene.
Yes, so we just had to activate it again. It'll put it in the center of it, then it'll do like a wash machine thing. Then it spits us out here, but it saves it immediately. So we quit out because we had the karma flower. We're immediately here. So now we just gotta end our run.
And normally when you do this, you'll get to this area with only a little bit of time left on your cycle timer. But because we quit out of it, it's technically considered a quote-unquote new cycle, so we get the full timer.
Yep. And even if we didn't have enough time, if we got the stock time that it gives you, we would still have enough time to make it. Ooh,
Oh,
little
okay.
bruise there. So just
Yeah, this is the other place, and
Yep.
I think I said at the beginning of this, oh, don't worry, they're usually not here. We got every single place that they could have been.
Yes.
So
Also, very important moment. The game is Rain World, but it's no longer Rain World. It's Snow World.
but only
now.
for only for this area. This is essentially meant to be a city that was on top of the computer's just general like body, and I don't actually think it's explained why it snows here in specific.
I think it's because we're so far away from Pebbles, and he was such a massive heat block.
Oh,
And so
yeah, that makes
now,
sense.
now that he's cooling, because he's not outputting much water anymore, everything's cooling down, and there's snow here. So it's the first time we ever got
Oh,
to see snow. That little
there's a
man's
guy.
there.
It's a little treat.
It's not in too bad of a spot.
I don't like them.
Some
These are
mural
mural
sculpture,
sculptures.
very
They're
evil.
not fun.
Alright,
Very
going to the
evil.
last gate. So, the ending will be in just a moment when we meet Moon themselves. That being, every iterator has a puppet that you can directly talk to. And so Moon's in Shoreline, technically, now that we're exiting their superstructure. But yeah, seeing snow is a big deal, especially for this game. Definitely can take people off guard. I always like to point it out, at least.
If you were in the community before Downpour released, it was probably one of like the coolest, biggest things that you saw when you played this campaign was the snow.
Okay, now that we've activated Moon's area, this area now has cycles of low grav and normal gravity as well. We hope for just no grav.
The funny part about this is because we didn't talk to either of them, they just have no idea why this happened.
Yes. So now we've hit time the moment we've hit this room. 3311, not bad.
That's not bad. However, that is with the old timer.
Well, yeah. There is some problems with the in-game timer, but that's pretty much what I expected to get for this run anyway.
We are currently testing a fix for this timer because it doesn't calculate certain cycles properly in points.
So sometimes it'll mess up, so we just use real time and try to compensate. Also, yes, thank you all in the chat that's been watching this attempt as well. We're gonna watch the rest of the cutscene here, as when it comes to the estimate, I'm gonna try to include cutscene as well. Although in the event we need to cut that in case issues happen, that'll of course happen. But we'll run
Evo is
through this,
asking
consider.
when Moon breakdances on our body. Do you want to
Okay,
explain
so
that?
we'll explain one thing, and that I'm gonna add an incentive for this run particularly, which is when we put the ball in its location, and then we quit out, and we had the karma flower where it didn't matter that we quit out, and then we immediately were in the other part of Bitter Area where it snowed. If we don't quit out, and instead just let the whole cutscene play out, and then we just have a minute and a half to get here from that water tunnel, When we get here, it will start raining, and that'll cause us to die in this room. And then because of the torrential rain, it'll cause Moon here to break dance on our body, telling us how good a job we did while we are dead. And then she's just talking to us like a crazy cat lady. And I think it's hilarious. It also, all of these rooms it's about to show us are actually rendered in game. And it'll show all of these rooms as it is when it is raining. And so for some of these rooms, instead of raining, it has nighttime. So it shows that as well, which is always a fun thing to point out.
It's a neat detail.
I find it cool that it loads other regions quite fine.
Do you think if a creature wandered in here, it would show the creature?
I don't know. I don't think it would allow it to show up because it basically just loaded the region.
Oh, yeah, probably not. And then it freezes everything when the broadcast goes through.
Yep. All right. We're going to let this play through, but thank you for considering this run for Games Done Quick. I think that's pretty much everything that we have to say. But also thank you, Fletcher, for helping out.
I'm happy to do it.
The commentary. All right. So hello, Angalata, Evo, and Kerr. And Dreki, hello. But the moon breakdancing party is a fun thing to watch. Sleepy tired today, yes. This one's definitely, I find this to be one of the more enjoyable runs to do. There's so much that you do. There's so many different things that you do. Plan to submit all the runs, see what gets accepted. Right now, this is the one that I'm more interested in, but we're gonna offer the 3 runs and see if they like one more than the others. There's this one, which shows a lot of mechanics, shows a lot of the new things that the game adds. There's Saint, because it's Saint. And then there'll be the Hunter run, which is a more traditional Rain World run. Doesn't do anything too crazy, still shows some stuff from the DLC. Seeing Hunter creatures, because the Hunter spawns are a lot, but you have a lot to be able to deal with it as well. You have a lot on your side to deal with it. I mean,
it's a good chat. I wonder what people will that don't know Rain World will when they read incentive moon break dances on my body.
Well, we're not doing the normal ending anymore for a lot of these runs. So I'm doing like Survivor Pilgrimage, and then you end in the Void Sea, and just someone just tuned in and is looking at that because they want to see the run after or something. They're just like, what am I looking at?
Oh yeah, that's got to be something good. Special.
But for these runs, it's nice to be able to end a run that's not in depth. Because the depth is a long area that's pretty dark, but this is showing a lot. Even submerged superstructure isn't as annoying as depths is in some ways. So now here with the end of the lore essentially that's going on here, Moon knows that Pebbles gave her the power core, the ball, and so Moon then sent a transmission to let him know that he's all good. Yeah, that was Pebbles. So Pebbles and Moon talked for the first time in probably thousands of years. Who knows how long that actually was for them. All right. That's it. All right. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
This really was a Rain World downpour.
Oh no.
We did it. We got a run where you didn't die.
Yay. That was pretty good.
Yes.
33 minutes. Because I really wanted 32 and a half. for like a personal best. We got 33:11 for a run. I just wasn't sure. I don't know. I know I'm not like as high energy as I want to be.
I mean,
I
you
guess
did
it's the
just
one
get
thing.
back from work, right?
Yes.
That would
I was
explain it.
beat with a whip all day.
Oh, probably preferable than my
No.
work.
Is it? Is it though?
I'm just threatened with neckbeards all day. Or this one dude who comes in and weighs Pokemon cards in front of children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello variations on Avro. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do the rest of the stream, but I'm gonna go to the bathroom again because I've drank a lot of water and this will constantly happen. So I'll be back again.
Hydration.
Okay, yeah, I'll be back.
Awesome. You guys are stuck with me again. Hello, everyone. I'm glad we finally got that done. The other one was really good, but there was that death in the leg. It's very tragic. Yeah, we also did a Saint run, which honestly, my personal opinion, I don't think Saint would be good for a marathon because it's basically like very deep lore wise and also incredibly confusing and also a huge spoiler. So I think either Rivulet or Hunter would be good. I really like the Hunter one because that's good. It's quick. It shows basically the regular plot of the game. Deep lore and spoilers and Rubicon sucks. Yep. Hunter all objectives? No, it's just a pebbles percent. It's just something short and sweet. All objectives would also be good, probably more preferable. But I mean, we're just trying to get three different because they each showcase different things. Rivulet showcases all the different movement you can do and goes through a bunch of regions. Saint showcases the story, its unique movement, and the concept of echoes and ascension very well. And Hunter is just kind of showcasing the game at its purest, just going through it from start to finish. Chronology percent you showers. I still owe Mithril a Spearmaster run because Farigiraf lost the World Championships. So, do
Do
pilgrimage.
pilgrimage.
Do any percent. Could you even? I guess you could. You just have to carry the hazer with you.
Yeah.
Because, no mouth.
That's boring. Basically just Survivor. All mod cats. Bunny Murs actually stream. Not actually stream. Okay. This day I haven't seen anyone try the all slugs. I would like to see people do it. There's a we put as I kind of put it as a joke. I should probably remove it to be honest. But doing all of the more slug cats characters story
That was a
mode.
joke? I thought that was genuine.
I mean, it
I
is,
thought you were expecting people to do that.
but no one did it, so it's a joke now.
It's a joke now.
Oh, Starman, Cat Cyan. Well, bringing a guardian to moon any percent. That's very hard. It's very hard to remove them out of subterranean. It was hard just to move them as much as we did to kill them.
Now I'm just thinking about the Among Us.
There's someone is genuine. Yes. Just do it. Just do it. It can be any of the more Slugcats cats, but in any order. Ice mate.
But it means you do
Don't
have
know.
to play Spearmaster.
I have not made a hunter or a pain cat model yet. And they're just going to be reskins of Survivor. Pain cat any percent for GQ win. That's an easy run and would look really bad.
It would. It would just be painful.
It's legitimately easy. It's not a joke. It's not hard. Because you go to Shoreline, nothing special happens in Shoreline, and then you're in Subterranean. So you're
And
in
it's just
dark
dark.
place, into water, into dark place, into no one knows what's going on. And then you just
Into
bomb
dark
the
place.
end. Shoreline is cheating? No. And you immediately kill the Guardians with a bomb. Head, ooh, mouth, no. Hey, maybe.
I think the cat realized that he can scream again.
I never stop believing, Spartan.
Thank you for the gift. Tesla
Ooh.
Coil has the emote now. Tesla Coil has all the emotes in the world.
You can now use Rivoo.
Yes.
Yes.
We need a Fanon Pain Cat design? Well, there is one. And I love it. I think it's by Diesel Pink. I always forget which one does what. We can show that right now, because I use it on stream a lot. Doesn't see Eel Lizard behind them. You need... Trekkie needs the Fletcher emote now.
Which one specifically?
You get the following. The combo. The combo. It's very good. Also, I think I'm done with Rain World for today. If we do more, it would be Saturday. And it doesn't matter to me if we do more. There's some things I always wish we said, but I always feel like it's gonna be like that.
It's hard to do it on the fly, especially because things can happen.
Okay.
Yes, there it is.
This is the Pain Cat run. I love this one.
Gorgeous, baby.
Yeah, my friend recommended I watch this.
Usually his other streams he's a lot more interactive with viewers. It's just this we were specifically recording for a submission. So we couldn't interact with chat all too much because we were trying to be focused
I
on
wanted to make sure this was good. And the biggest
yeah.
problems with my submissions is that I basically only interact with chat, and then I'm super distracted because I'm also talking all the time. I also want to talk about the run, and I want to interact with chat. I still look at chat a lot, but I try not to say too much. Also, yes, normally I stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, which mostly Saturday is Rain World, and then Tuesday, Thursday is 3D modeling. But we have GDQ submissions. I'm not going to stream tomorrow. And I've wanted to put a lot of work into this, and Fletcher's been a great help with this. Because
Yeah.
I've definitely felt that it was a lot easier to pay attention for parts. So I didn't have to think about every second. I do want to finish those. After GDQ, it's going to be Hunter, Pain Cat, texturing. I don't know how I want to texture Pain Cat yet.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be a bit hard. You could do like I don't know if you can do like weird lighting stuff, maybe. would probably be the
I don't know
easiest
how
one.
I get special shaders into Unity.
I don't know.
I guess that's a big thing. Okay. You change the color of the shadow. I can change the color of the outline. Cool.
That'll probably be your
There's a
best
black
bet.
outline over the character in total. It's also why you can actually still see the hand while it's in front of the body, essentially. So we want the bisexual lighting. How do we do this?
You said that and immediately got like speared in the face. Oh no.
I mean, there is just like black cat, but it's like red and blue lighting on either side. It's generally how I see a lot. Which I think is very good. Okay. I'm good to do whatever if you want to do something.
It depends on if you want to do something.
I don't know
I'm
if
a
I will
very
stream.
go with the flow type person.
I might end stream. But maybe deep rock.
I'd be down.
Just looks like colored pause, so it gives this puzzle. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I might be able to overlay a model over Rivulet. It can do the coloring I want.
This
I'm gonna
feels like it's
see.
getting very convoluted very fast.
Like, I've done something like this before with Rotom.
You made a Rotom model?
No, I worked with a Rotom model that was ripped from the Pokemon games, where just the
Oh.
outline blue is actually just an inverted texture. Where generally, if you notice, if you clip in the models, your face is inside a model. You can still see out of it. It's because you only actually see a texture on one side. You can set it up so you only see a texture on one side.
Oh, okay.
And so
That makes
you
sense.
would do that, but face it the other way. So you see the inside of the other side of the model, which I believe is what happens naturally with the outline that's already happening with Rivulet here. It's just an auto-created thing. I didn't know they streamed. All right. I am done with Rainworld for today. Thank you all for
No.
watching. We can either, well, one, if you want to watch more Rainworld things, there's Topa Potato, who shows up in our stream every once in a while. They're doing a challenge run where they're playing Artificer's Campaign as Saint,
Oh no.
which sounds funny. They have neurons for some reason. Don't know why they would do this. I mean, I use Blender, so texture painting is weird. I need to put it into Unity, though. That's the thing. Good tutorial for making Dress My Slugcat skins. All that I can suggest to you is the Dress My Slugcat Discord server. I've pointed other people there, and they've got Dress My Slugcat commissions done there. So I assume that they would teach you as well.
I also will say, if you go on the workshop for Dress My Slug Cat, the description of it has a link to a tutorial that pretty clearly explains what you need to do.
Yes. If you need me to send you the link to that Discord, let me know.
Anvil.
Okay. Who wants... We have 3 options. We've got more Rain World to raid into. We've got Spelunky 2, and we've got Sifu. These are all games that we can raid into, that people I would think about raiding. Which one do we choose? More Rain World? Okay. I don't believe they have a microphone. I've not really watched them yet, but they have shown in chat a few times. So go say hello. Don't feel like you have to go through the raid if you don't want to. Post one of the lizard emotes. Unlock them with channel points. I will stream again on Saturday. The submissions for Games Done Quick have to be done by midnight on Sunday, as I understand. Yes. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. Well, that was a very, very good stream.
Awesome.
Also, yeah, Kerr, I meant if you don't find it, let me know, and I can DM it to you. Not that I've already done that. It's something I can do. One day. Are you going to make your own Dress My Slug Cat, Dreki? Is that what you're saying? Also, yes, this is probably one of my better submissions that I've ever done for any marathon.
Woo!
So we'll see what they think. And just in-person Games Done Quick is also good. Alright, I'm going to let the timer run out on the raid. Thank you all for watching. I will stream Saturday. Additionally, there's my Discord, !Discord, that'll show when I stream.